Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a hidden underground modern base that features a very cool redstone lava entrance. The mechanism is simple. We begin by flipping this switch hidden in this rock formation. We then wait for the lava to drain from the entrance that has now been created from flipping the switch. If you want the entrance to remain a secret, I suggest flipping the switch and quickly running down into the entrance. You should be fine as long as you're fast enough. We begin by working our way down this corridor. We then have access to the first room, which is quite large and suitable for many uses. We then have to climb down another set of ladders which will take us down to the ground level, in which we have access to another large room which once again is suitable for many purposes, finishing up with a small yet cozy bedroom at the end of the base. And once you are finished with all of your basely needs, you simply flip this switch near the entrance, which will once again trigger the redstone and slowly drain the lava from the exit. Once the lava has fully drained, you're going to have to quickly flip the switch again and run and jump out of your base, which will then fill up once more with lava. If you enjoy this tutorial, all I ask is that you please hit that like button and consider sharing this video with your friends. I'd also love it if you guys could leave a suggestion to see what you want me to make next. Thank you very much for watching, and I think we should start this tutorial. Okay, so before we begin, we will need to grab all of these materials that you can see in my inventory and hotbar right now. The ones in my hotbar are the ones that we shall be beginning with, however all of the ones in the inventory we'll need a little bit later on, and later on from there we'll need a lot of furnishing materials as we progress further into the hidden base. Pause the video if necessary, make sure that you have all of these, and then we can begin. So, once you have all your materials, you then have to find where you want to make it. The only thing I would recommend is building it on a flat surface that preferably has a nice solid foundation, so it has quite a few layers. So building it on water really is a no-go, or a mountaintop, I wouldn't recommend that. I'd recommend a nice flat surface with some nice dependable layers. So once you've found the spot, dig a row of 4 into the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then dig a row down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place up-facing sticky pistons in the hole. Dig 2 rows to the right of these sticky pistons. 1, 2. And make the hole as deep as the sticky pistons. And then lace the right side of the hole using sticky pistons facing upwards. Place orange concrete or any colourful block onto the up-facing sticky pistons. I'd recommend orange only because it's a similar colour to the lava, and it doesn't really burn. Then place a quartz stairs in between the front pair of orange concrete. This is where we will be entering. And then place a stair in the ground in front of it, like this. So that kind of marks out for you where you're going to be going into the base. Dig all the way around the orange concrete / sticky pistons / stairs. It will look like a big square shape, like this. And dig another row down. This is going to allow us to place stuff on the outside of the pistons. We then want to place redstone repeaters moving inwards to the sticky pistons on the left and right. The repeaters specifically want to be facing inwards like this, otherwise they won't work. We then want to dig to the left of the pistons on the left side, and we want to dig to the right of the pistons on the right side. This allows us to place some redstone dust around them, which is of course very important. Once you have done that, we now want to make the entrance a bit more apparent. So we are going to dig in the ground in front of the quartz stairs, and we're going to place some red concrete, like this, in between the pistons. And we're going to extend the entrance in the ground forwards by 3 rows. You'll have to destroy some earth. So this would be 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to place some red concrete to signify where we're going to be walking into. We also want to place some white concrete left and right of the red concrete like this. This is going to create a nice clear hallway that we're going to be walking into. So if you can imagine, once the door has been triggered, we will be able to walk into it like this. Now you see, it's important that we've made the path because we now want to dig out around the path a little bit to make it easier for us to work with it, like this. Place a redstone dust coming out from the top left repeater at the back and have it wrap around all of the repeaters and pistons coming all the way to the right side, like this. So you've connected the left side to the right. Now we have to make a switch that will allow this to work. So we're going to destroy the bottom right hand corner grass block here, and we're going to place a redstone dust, and then we're going to place another dust coming up and right, and then I'm going to place a stone right of the dust, and then a stone up left diagonally of the dust like this, and then a redstone here, and a lever here. I'm going to flip the lever to make sure that it works, and it does. That's perfect. So this is what we're actually after. Flip down, it goes down, both the rows of the orange concrete. Flip up, it goes up. You guys get the idea. There is more than one switch, however. Now we have to find a way to connect this redstone dust here to the other dust, and it wants to dig underneath the path that we have here. So what this means is that we've got to, from this dust, dig this block out, and this block, and this block, like this. So you can see that we can place now a redstone dust coming down here, and then through here, and then we're going to come to the other side, and we're going to do a similar thing. We're going to dig here, and then here, here, and then dig through. And you can already see the dust, so that means that we can connect it here, here, here. So now it joins in a circle. And now that means that we can place another lever which will operate this. You can destroy part of the wall, and you can place a lever here, and this will also toggle the concrete like so. And what this means is that we can basically hit this switch like this, and then as we're walking into the hidden base, we can flip the switch down so that it retracts, and it gives us enough time to walk down into the base, and then we can actually cover it back up again once we're in here. Now all we have to do is we just have to cover up our work. So I'm going to use a lot of stone for this, okay? So I'm going to place stone in all of the holes that we've just created. I'm going to place stone. Well, in the majority of holes. I don't want to cut off any sort of redstone signal. That's very important. So once you have placed some stone, do make sure that you haven't cut anything off. So for instance, like if we were to place that there, that wouldn't work anymore. You guys get the idea. So wherever you have to, you can cover up the redstone. Just make sure that you're not cutting off the signals. So if you can't do it directly, just place a block up above it like this. Create a rock formation. And you're going to want to do something similar over here as well. Simply create a rock formation to just cover up the area a little bit. So, will that still work? That still works perfect. And we have our switch. We also need to place a layer of stone all the way around the hidden base. So it can be kind of like in a circular pattern like this. But we want to place a layer of stone around the hidden base. And what we want to be able to accomplish is that when these 2 rows of orange concrete are up, no lava can get in between this area. So you can place as much stone as you like around these 2 rows of orange concrete, but you don't place stone in between them, and you certainly don't place lava in between them. This wants to be a closed system. So to show you, we can now grab lava buckets, and I'm also going to, just to be safe, to protect this switch, just to be safe, I'm going to place a sign here and here. This will stop the unfortunate event that lava flows down through here and hits this switch. Lava won't pass through the signs. So now we can place lava up here next to the orange concrete. So we're making a nice lava rock pool like this, which looks great. And if we hit this switch, the lava will flow down into there, and we won't be able to access the base, but you know that it's there, and then we can hit this switch, flips it back up, and that now reveals to us, eventually, because the lava will stop flowing eventually, it takes a little while, which is what's kind of cool, it gives us plenty of time to get in and out. We can then, come on lava, I've got all day. Alright, but some of the viewers haven't. Eventually, the lava will dissipate. And even that one, eventually, there we go. Eventually, the lava will dissipate and we can easily access our hidden base, which is fantastic. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the redstone bit done. Okay, so now that we have accomplished the mechanism, I've got rid of a lot of the stuff. We don't need it anymore. This is what we need to make the actual rooms to the hidden base. Later on, we will need a lot more things to furnish it, but grab all of these materials right here. I would also highly recommend a potion of night vision. This will make things 10 times easier, but all of this stuff, absolutely needed. You can deal without the potions if you don't want them. Grab all of this, pause the video if necessary, and then we can begin. So I'm going to preemptively chug this potion of night vision, and I'm going to make my way down into the hidden base. So we have this hole right here. I want to dig 3 rows in this direction into the hole. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, like this. I then want to dig down 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then dig forwards 2 rows. 1, 2. Then dig to the right 1 row. And make this row 1 row higher, like this. So you have dug to the right, you've made it higher. So we have 3 blocks available to us. You then want to dig the same direction, moving outwards from the base. You want to dig this way, and you want to dig all 3 rows 10 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We then want to dig this direction, so it's left. So we've dug this way, and we then want to dig left by 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to go back on ourselves by 10 again. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We then want to dig to the left at the end here, and you just want to keep digging. You don't have to count, because eventually we will reach back to where we first started, which is perfect, because that is exactly what we wanted to do. Next, we have to excavate this area. I love that word. So that means that we have to dig out all of the rubble, all of the stone, all of the dirt in between this entire area. This will leave us with enough room for the first room. This base is made up out of 3 rooms, 2 large ones and then 1 small bedroom right at the very end of the base. This is room number 1. We are going to lightly decorate it, and then we will move on to room number 2, do the same sort of thing, and then finally do the bedroom. And again, pop potions of night vision where necessary. It won't be necessary at all times because, you know, you can place torches around and you can place sea lanterns and glowstones and things like that. But I'd just skip the middleman if I were you, and I would invest in some potions of night vision if possible. If not, torches are going to be your friends as well. So, now that we have dug out the area here, we are going to reinforce the area a little bit by placing pillar quartz block in each one of the 4 corners like this. This is going to make it look like a nice, modern, and fully supported structure, connecting the floor to the ceiling in each corner. We are also going to connect these together at the top using quartz slabs. This further gives the appearance that this place is indeed supported structurally. It also looks quite nice, like this. We also want to dig out the floor. So we don't want to be walking on stone. We're going to be walking on red concrete. An alternative to this, if you don't want to do a lot of excavating, is to place red carpet. However, there is something nice about red concrete that I really do like, and it does lend itself very, very nicely to modern houses more so than carpet, because it's a bit of a colder, more modern material. You can even place red concrete coming as far back as the entrance hole. So red concrete is what we will be using for the floor material, as I said. And as a matter of fact, we should also solidify how we are going to be getting out of the hidden base. I've realized that we haven't yet placed a ladder, but we have almost made quite a lot of the first room in terms of the actual room size and space. So, once you've placed your red concrete, I should point out that this row of grass/stone here, I'm going to dig it out, and I am also going to replace it with red concrete. And I'm going to connect it to the red concrete path that we have at the beginning of the build, like this. Goes all the way here. Something else that I should also mention is that you are going to have to cover up a little bit here. Unless you simply dig further down into the ground, it's easy to make errors here, so I'd highly recommend just filling in any sort of gaps that you might have made accidentally whilst digging out your hidden base. Simply fill them in using some stone or whatever the surrounding material is. I hope that I've not broke any redstone here. And you can place... No, perfect. Just fill it in with stone, and you can even extend out the lava that we have on the surface as well. We'll be doing a greater job later on to make it match the environment, but for now, you're just going to have to clumsily fill in all of the any sort of gaps that you might have absolutely accidentally added into the surface. But you can see that you can easily add in stone and other materials up top here to make it look nice and inconspicuous. We'll be working on that more later though, as I said. So what I wanted to get at was that this is the entrance, and we want to place a row of ladders on the red concrete that we have just placed, so now we can get up and down into the base. But what we also want to do, other than destroying the floor, is we want to destroy the walls as well. We're going to replace the stone walls using grey concrete, like this, and we're also going to be doing this outside as well. So, grey concrete here. We're also going to be destroying these walls as well. And we will also destroy the ceiling. A lot of the walls and the ceiling is where we are going to be getting our light from. So once you have finished destroying all of the walls and the ceiling, we are going to be placing some sealant and some glowstone, maybe even some straight up torches if you guys would prefer, in lieu of them. And then that will allow us to light up the hidden base a lot better. We're getting light from somewhere up top. I'm guessing that the lava is kind of close to where we were just digging, but you can see what we're doing here, and we will also be, as I say, knocking out the roof too, which I'm hoping doesn't lead to the surface. No, perfect, because otherwise that'd mean that we do have a lot of covering up to do. But we could have easily also have just like dug down further. You could dig down really far, and then that'd be perfectly fine as well, and then people aren't going to discover you. But you can easily just build up the surface as well, so it's not really a big deal that we haven't dug very far into the ground, as we can just build up the surface area, and that will pretty much accomplish the same thing. And that also allows us to meld the surface into like a nice, cool, unwalkable sort of terrain. You'll see what I'm on about when we get back up there. But that is the first of our rooms, right guys? That looks pretty good. However, we do also want to make the entrance area look a little bit better as well, okay? So we want to destroy all of the stone around where we have the ladders, and we want to destroy all of the stone and the dirt and stuff, and we want to make it so that we only have white concrete. So we want to make this as nice and modern looking as possible, so that means no lava, no stone, no nothing other than nice, clean looking, fresh materials like this. The roof is a different story. I'm going to leave that stone for now, but we might upturn that later. Oh, we've still got some more stone here too. So just destroy all of those, replace them with white concrete. I think you'll find that looks a little bit nicer. And something that you can do is, of course, you can dig into the wall as many rows as you like. And you can place, this is a technique I love, you can place glowstone in the wall, and then you can place a wooden trapdoor in front of it. And of course I'm going to destroy any visible blocks like this, so you can quite clearly see now as we deep down into the hole like this, even without the potions of night vision, it is still quite easy to see down here. I'm also going to place pillar quartz block to the left, to the right of the entrance that we have here as well. I'm going to dig a few blocks into the wall, mainly the middle parts of the wall, like this. And the reason for this is I'm now going to use the glowstone and wooden trapdoors and stuff, and I'm going to dig 2 rows in, and I'm going to place wooden trapdoors in there. So that we're creating our natural light and we're not burning potions, just dig an additional row into the wall like this, leaving this end one alone because this is where we're going to be digging down. And you can even do the same in the ceiling as well. You can find the middle of the ceiling, which I'm pretty sure is about there, and you can do a similar sort of thing. So it's not too bad down here now. Okay, so this is room number 1. Let's make the next room. So to make the next room, we have to make an entrance to the next room. We take the middle of the end of the room here, and we dig 2 rows into the middle of the wall. 1, 2. We then want to make the wall look a bit fancier by placing pillar quartz block left and right of the entrance hole. And if you want to provide more light, place a row of sea lanterns above and in between the pillar and the quartz slab like this. We then want to, once we have dug 2 rows in, we then want to dig down as well, and we're going to dig 4 rows down into the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. We now want to dig back on ourselves, and I'm going to grab the potion of night vision again. We want to dig back on ourselves, and we want to dig in 2 rows. So that's going to be 1, 2. We then want to dig left by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to dig right, as in going the same way that we dug when we came in. We want to dig 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We then want to dig right by 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We then want to dig right, going back on ourselves now, by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we can dig right, which will then bring us back on ourselves again, which will take us all the way back to our entrance. What we then have to do is clear out all of the rubble that we have in the middle of the room. And this is the second largest room of the hidden base. It's very, very, very similar to the one that is just above us, except it is just a little bit lower. It's underneath, and it's not got the entrance the same way that the one above us has, which makes it ever so slightly smaller. But it's important that we get rid of all of the rubble, as you can see. There we go, perfect. We are also going to dig into the roof. So we're going to dig one row upwards. You will notice that there is red concrete above us. That is because of the room directly above us, hence the red concrete. But don't worry, we have a solution for this. We are going to place quartz slabs on the ceiling, unless you like the red concrete, in which case you don't have to place quartz slabs. I kind of like it myself, to be honest with you. I might even keep it. But there is the option of placing slabs on the ceiling, and that will alleviate you of... There's a weird hole there. I'm guessing that that's just a natural occurrence. We shouldn't really have to do too much about that, but I will fill it in for now. So, now that we have all of this space, we are now going to place the same 4 quartz pillars in each one of the 4 corners of the room, because we do want it to seem as though this base is held up, despite the fact this is Minecraft, of course, and gravity is a little nyeh. We're going to have the area supported. We also want to highlight where we came from by placing pillar quartz block left and right of the 2-block entrance. We're also going to dig out all of the walls, and we are going to replace said walls using grey concrete. So, similar to what we did up above, we're going to dig out all 4 of the walls and turn the walls into red concrete. Once again, if you don't want to dig out the ceiling, I'm counting the ceiling as a wall, you don't have to. If you like the red concrete, and I quite do, so I might just leave it myself, then you can absolutely just have a nice red concrete ceiling. And we're going to have a red concrete floor as well. So it would go quite nicely, but I would understand if you didn't want that. We're just in the process now of digging out the 4th and final wall here. We might even install some more lights as well. Get a nice little bit of natural light up in here. The reason that I just paused there was because I was thinking about installing a ceiling light instead of actually adding the quartz ceiling, as I said. But now that those walls are done, we are going to dig into the ground as well, as I mentioned, and we are going to install a red concrete floor. If you don't like red concrete, choose another colour. If you don't like concrete at all, you're probably making the wrong build, because most of this build is actually concrete. However, you can easily make this out of more survival-friendly materials, such as wood and planks and stuff like that. So feel free to use whatever it is you'd like. So now that the floor is just about dug out, we are going to be installing our red concrete floor. And I very much like this. Something that you guys might not know about me is my favourite colour is red. hence why red is quite apparent in quite a few of my builds. I really do like red, so that's why I use it quite a lot. And in the same vein, I would recommend you use your favourite colour. If you don't like red, I'm going to pop another potion of night vision here. They really are your friends, although we will be installing some light in just a moment, because it is a pain to keep popping the potions. Use your favourite colour. If you like green, use green. Blue, blue. You guys get the idea. So, now that the floor is just about red, here we go. Perfect. I'm also going to place quartz slabs connecting all of the pillars together as well. You guys know that we placed 4 pillars in the corner of this room, so I think it's very important to connect them all together, structurally speaking, like this. I'm also going to dig behind the pillar, the 2 pillars and the quartz, and I'm going to place sea lanterns in the wall up and above in between them to provide extra light. Something that you guys might not know yet is that there is also another room on the opposite end of the room. It carries on into a bedroom. So we're going to dig these 2 blocks out of the middle of the opposite wall. So this is the entrance. This is the opposite wall. This is where we're going to walk into the bedroom. And I'm going to place pillar quartz blocks around the entrance. And I'm going to place these similar sea lanterns above it as well to highlight that. I'm also going to dig into the center of this wall, 2 rows, and the center of this wall, 2 rows, and I'm going to install glowstone in the wall. And I'm going to place wooden trapdoors in front of the glowstone. And something else that I'm going to do, later on, we're actually going to create a little farm in this area. So in the middle of the floor, I'm going to dig out the middle block, and I'm going to dig all of the blocks that surround it to form a square. Then I'm going to do that one more time to increase the size of the square, like this. But what's important is I'm going to dig 2 blocks below in the middle, and I'm going to place a sea lantern in the middle of the floor. So now you can see that we actually have it's going to be quite a sizable farm down here, and we're going to have the sea lantern in the middle, and we'll also use water to fill that in. But what's important about this is up above it, I'm going to, I think this might work, I hope it's not going to clutter the area. I'm going to place a glowstone, or a sea lantern might look better to be honest, and I'm going to place quartz slabs around the sea lantern to provide even more light. So if this makes sense, we now have a sea lantern in the ground, water will be on top of that, grass will be here, and we also have a sea lantern in the middle of the room. Now, it's not getting in anyone's way because the grass is like set 1 block down. But this is what the room looks like so far, you know, it's not looking too bad. I also want to improve the way that we get down into this room. So, obviously, we came from this room, right? So I'm going to destroy all of the I'm going to destroy all of the blocks surrounding this area, all of the stone I mean to say, and I'm going to replace it using grey concrete. So instead of seeing stone and stuff, I want to see grey concrete in the hallway that we use to get up and down this build. Alright, so I'm just going to delete that. And I'm going to delete all of these. I mean, you could even make this white for a color contrast if you wanted to. I mean, you could make that white because it, you know, it fades nicely against the grey. And I'm going to chuck ladders in here as well. And the ladders are going to be on the white concrete wall, like this. Oh, no, there we go. Where did I placed them there, silly me. So this is the lower room. And this is one of my favourite rooms, probably my favourite room out of the whole build. And we can now climb up and into the main room, which is, of course, here, which, of course, takes us out. I'm considering, actually, I think I might get rid of the grey here, and I might turn that white. Because we've got grey there, and it's not really helping anybody. I might make that, yeah, I might make it that colour. And I might also install another sea lantern here, just to light things up even more. And it kind of shows you the exits, like sea lanterns then kind of show you like where the entrances and exits are, which I think is kind of like a cool thing. Or at least I think that way. I don't know what you guys think of that. But let's move back down now that we've created, you know, quite a few rooms now. We're going to create the final room. So we've already destroyed 1 block into the wall here. And we want to continue on, and we want to dig about 4 more rows going forwards. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And we then want to dig how many rows to the left of us? About 2 rows. 1 and 2. This is the bedroom that we're making. And to the right also, 1 and 2. Digging 2 rows to the right. We're going to dig out the ceiling, just so that we've got a bit more space, because that's very important. I don't like feeling claustrophobic in these builds so much. There we go. And I'm going to dig out the walls, and I'm going to place the patented grey concrete that we use pretty much everywhere. And I'm also going to fill in this back wall. I'm only looking for really like a 3x3 space, or like a 3x5 is what I think it is. So about like 2 blocks left and right of us, and about 3 blocks in length, adding up to, you know, a space that looks about this. You can of course make it much larger if you want, but you know, that's up to you. I'm going to place quartz slabs on the ceiling because I think that will suit it quite nicely. And I'm going to place some glowstone in the walls, and this will light up the area very well. Ladders? That is the wrong material, so I'm going to place some glowstone in the walls, like this. I think that looks pretty good. And I'll of course continue the... Am I flying? I'm flying now. I'm going to continue the red concrete theme into this room. Do remember, you can make this any size you like. If you want to modify this, this is just a small little bedroom. So, you know, make it bigger, make it smaller. Probably wouldn't make it any smaller, but you guys get the idea. Now we've got a bedroom. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe that that's actually all of the rooms made. I think that we've done all of the rooms. Like those are the actual rooms themselves. You know, we've not furnished them or anything. But that's all of the rooms. I'm taking a quick look around just to make sure that I'm actually correct. So now, wow, we've actually done a lot. So from this point onwards, I'm going to grab a load of more materials, okay? And I'm going to show you how I'm going to furnish my base. However, if you just wanted the actual base itself with all empty rooms and fun stuff like that, I guess you have finished. However, some of you might want to see how I'm decorating it, so let's move on to that part next. Okay, so these are the sorts of items that we're going to be using to decorate the first room. I might grab some different ones as well as I progress through the build. However, it's up to you what you ultimately decide to use. So, this first room is much more of a utility room. So, I'm going to want to have a lot of storage and a lot of areas where I can do some smelting, do some enchanting. You guys get the idea. So, I'm going to have a designated smelting area on the left and right of this long wall on the left. And I'm also going to, of course, need a couple of chests left and right to store the stuff that I'm going to be melting in. I'm also going to have a couple of single dedicated furnaces because I think that works nicely. And I'm also going to place an anvil in the center. And it just so happens, I'm pretty sure that you can place a flower pot. No, you can't. That's such a shame. I thought you could place a flower pot on an anvil. But what you can do is you can place flower pots on the furnaces to the left and right. I'm just going to place some poppies in them for a little bit of decoration. So that wall is very much utilitarian. We can place a lot of stuff there. Left and right of this entrance that takes us down below, I'm going to place cauldrons with some jungle leaves inside. Like this. And I think that I'm going to place a couple of colourful boxes. So more storage. I'm going to place an orange shulker box and a lime shulker box. But of course, you can simply place some more chests if you like. This opposite long wall, I'm also going to use as a dedicated area. So a couple of double chests on the left and right would help very much. And also, maybe it'd be a good idea to have kind of like a table sort of system here. So I'm going to place 2 back-to-back quartz stairs here. And I'm going to place like a brewing stand here. A cauldron in the middle. Maybe a couple of brewing stands like this. And I'm also going to place a crafting table right in the middle. And maybe even... what else could we place? I mean, maybe even a couple of cauldrons. I mean, you never know when you need to brew up a couple of things. I'm also going to place a painting here as well, just up above there because it fits nicely. And this short wall right here, you can do many amounts of things here, but I think what I will do is I'll just take the opportunity to make kind of like a nice little asymmetrical wall, probably plant like a potted plant or something here next to this little light. Maybe even stack a couple of chests on top of each other. Storage is always great. And maybe I'll also use a little bit of a shulker box area as well. And always, I do love this. I do love to place paintings and stuff. I really do like the Minecraft paintings, although not necessarily when they repeat each other. There we go. That's much better. So the center of the room is very, very clear. I kind of like that myself. I like all of the action being towards the outsides, but that is a little bit boring. So what we can do to improve the center of the room is we can actually dig out the center of the room a little bit, like this, and we can place quartz slabs around the sea lantern that is in the center of the room. Now, why is there a sea lantern in the center of the room, you're probably asking? Well, we placed a sea lantern down below, so we now, of course, have a sea lantern up above. If you wanted to also eliminate a little bit more space in the room, you can place some oak fence left and right of this. It kind of streamlines the room a little bit. And then, that's pretty nicely decorated, I think. I don't think that that's too bad whatsoever. So, it's quite a nice looking room when we get down to it. I hope that you guys like it too. Why don't we shuffle down to the next room? Oh, before we do move, I do think it's kind of fun to place paintings and stuff. Kind of all over the place. So maybe I would prefer like a 1-block painting like here. You know, just like throughout the hallways and stuff, I do kind of just like paintings and what have you being there, just because I think it does improve things a little bit. But you don't have to place paintings and what have you. You can just leave it alone. But let's drop down a level and let us. Should that be red? That should actually probably be red, by the way, like this. Let's get rid of that. Let's make that red. And let's drop down a level and we can talk about what we're going to be doing down here. Okay, so for the lower room, I'm thinking much more of a library / gardening area. So these are the sorts of materials I'm going to be using. I might mix it up a little bit as well. I'm kind of designing the interior as I go. So first of all, I'm going to destroy all of this stone that surrounds the sea lantern at the middle of the room. And I'm just going to replace it using grass. And if you don't have grass because you're not in creative, then you type /give. I'm just joking. You don't have to cheat to get grass. Just use dirt. That'll be perfectly fine too. And then place some water buckets on top of the sea lantern, or place a water bucket. You don't need multiples. And then I'm going to hoe the area around the water. I'm going to hoe all the grass. And then I'm just going to place some seeds in here. If you wanted to, you could mix it up with the variants of seeds, but I'm just going for some regular old wheat myself. There we go. That's perfect. So that's quite a nice, lovely little area. I really like that. So to go with this, I'm going to place on this wall, I think I'm going to add some storage. So I'm going to place like a chest maybe every other block so that we can clearly mark out the chests on this left wall. And I'm going to place item frames above pretty much all of the chests but this middle one, because we can't. Might even get rid of the middle chest. And then that way we can place, say, like tools in one chest and perhaps like different seeds of different varieties in another. I mean, you know, maybe we could even have like combat equipment in one particular chest, and you could even have, you could have whatever in another chest, maybe even food or, whatever it is you want to grow down here. And I'm also, just because I know that there's going to be some on this opposite wall, I don't know actually. Maybe we'll have a crafting area too. Maybe if we're going to be having chests down here, maybe like a crafting table in the middle of the wall is good. But I know that there's also going to be some seats on this opposite wall. So I think I'll place a quartz stair between each pairs of chests here. And I think I might also separate the crafting table and the seeds and stuff. I think that works quite nicely as a wall. This opposite wall is going to be a bit more useful in that we are going to have some bookshelves in this wall. So I'm going to have bookshelves either side of the light here. And I think I'm going to actually have the bookshelves extend up to the ceiling as well. And I'm also going to place some stairs left and right of the bookshelves for symmetry. I'm going to place some potted plants next to the stairs. That one is upside down. That's not a very good seat, unless you sit on it upside down. And then I'm going to place some cauldrons underneath here. And I think that we're missing an enchanting table, which is imperative, but here we go, like right in the middle. That's quite nice. So we've kind of got like a farming / library area down here. I quite like the vibe, to be honest with you. And next to the entrances, I think I'm going to place once again the cauldrons and the jungle leaves. Or alternatively, I mean, instead of repeating that over and over again, I mean, we could just add more storage next to the doors. So, you know, some varying color shulker boxes. I really do like storage a lot, as weird as that might sound. So it's something that I kind of like doing. Maybe like some item frames even, and maybe even we bulk up some paintings. But it's not really necessary that we absolutely fill every single wall, is it? I mean, we don't have to do that whatsoever. But maybe we'll mark something out. Maybe we'll even place like a chest here. Maybe even like a beacon or something in there. You know, something that you'd actually put in a chest though. And this opposite wall, we can just leave these blank, I think. I don't think we have to do too much to them. And this is growing nicely. I really like what we've got going on down here, which just leaves this final room, which is a bedroom. So in here, I'm going to place a couple of beds. Might even make the beds a different color, maybe white beds to go with like the red and the grey. So a bed on each side would be pretty good, and maybe if we have like a couple of chests like at the end of the bed, maybe here and here. And if we had some equipment as well, maybe a little bit of armor next to the beds, maybe like one here and one here. I'd prefer if you faced a little bit that way. And then get some gold armor in this one perhaps, and maybe even a little bit of diamond in this one. So this one, this can sleep 2 people quite easily. You can place many more beds around the area if you want. Maybe put a chest here. And maybe since this is combat equipment, maybe we put some gold leggings or something in the actual chest just up above. And that's pretty good. I mean, if you wanted to decorate the area further, you absolutely could. I mean, if you wanted to, you could even like put something crazy, like you could put something cool like a dragon head or something there. And what you could even do, it's actually tricky to do this, but I mean, if you wanted to hide this in the wall, you could perhaps like place an ender chest like here just below the ender dragon, because will that open? Actually, it doesn't open. I thought that the ender chest opened regardless, but maybe you could just place like an ender chest like here next to the armor just below the ender dragon's hair. Maybe you don't have to be so maybe you don't have to be so paranoid about your ender chest. But yeah, guys, that's the house nice and decorated. I think it looks pretty cool. If I do say so myself. I'm just gonna have a quick look through it, just to make sure that everything's spick and span, making sure that everything's really nice. And I think it is. I think everything's pretty much to our specifications. The only thing that you might want to do here on the surface, by the way, now that that's all of that stuff done, I mean, you might want to meld the, you might kind of want to like make the environment maybe like a little bit less, I don't know, like you might want to have it stand out less. So for instance, like maybe you'd want to join all of this little area here. Maybe you'd want to join it to the hill, for instance. Maybe you'd like to plant some trees to make it look a little bit less inconspicuous, you know, where your lava pool is. Maybe add a couple of trees around the surrounding area, kind of like how I'm doing now. That's actually a nice big tree. I like that a lot. Maybe, you know, just bone meal the area in general, just so that it doesn't stand out so much. I mean, you could even bone meal this area too. And of course, you might want to hide that lever a little bit better, maybe like, you know, something like this. But, you know, that kind of sticks out by itself a little bit. So, you know, you're just going to want to be careful when it comes to your lever. You know, you're going to want to hide it, but not too well, so you remember where it is, but it doesn't want to be obvious. Like, if you have this just like in the middle of nowhere, people are going to see where the lever is. But yeah, let me blend this into the environment a little bit better, and then maybe we can take a little bit of a tour, see how this base fares, because I think we're pretty much done. ladies and gentlemen, here we are. This is a little bit better. So what have I done, you might be wondering to yourselves? Well, I have improved the rock pool a little bit by adding more rocks. I've added some slabs. I added a couple more lava source blocks to make it look as though that the lava pit is kind of flowing, to make it less obvious that there is actually an entrance here. I also made the terrain just blend in a little bit better in general. And most importantly, I have hidden the lever a little bit better. So now it's hidden one block behind a slab, so we can still access it, we can still flick it, which brings up these two rows of orange concrete, and will inevitably let us inside, of course, once all of the lava itself has drained. But it has, of course, made it a lot harder for everybody else to find it. Made it a little bit more difficult to push the lever to flick it open and stuff, but definitely worth doing. So now, as we're entering, I'm going to flick it back, and I'm going to quickly run in, and the lava will collapse behind us. Perfect. So no one will be any the wiser. And if we ever want to come out, we of course just have to flick this one, and eventually the lava pool will subside, but we're just going to leave it down for now whilst we're actually in here. And we can work our way through the entire base, of course. This is the first room, looking lovely, plenty of chests, plenty of area to do some crafting, some smelting. It's just very nice and peaceful down here. We can do a bit of brewing as well. If we work our way down below, this is pretty zen down here. I like this a lot. Got the ender dragon staring us in the face, but we've got a nice reading area, enchanting area, we've got a nice farming area. We can do more crafting down here too, plenty of storage. And finally, we have the bedroom, which has our ender chest and ender dragon head and some of our armor and a little bit more storage. There's plenty of room for more than 2 beds, but of course, you can absolutely have as many as you like. And once you have finished with your hidden base, just collected some wheat there by accident by falling on it. Once you have finished with your hidden base, you can work your way all the way back up to the entrance. You can flick this switch so that the doors have engaged, and this will casually drain the lava away. Eventually, you know, it is quite a slow mechanism, unfortunately, but that's good because, as you'll see in a moment, once we have drained the lava completely, once we can actually walk across it, there's a few stages here, it's all got to dissipate. Now that we want to come out of the base, we flick this switch and we run before the lava actually gets to us. And then that way we can operate this switch and do the same thing. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that is our lava base completely finished. And I do hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please do remember to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate that. I honestly would. It helps me and the channel out immensely if you could hit that like and share this video with your friends. That'd help plenty too. If you have any more suggestions, leave them down below. They're in the comment section as well. If you have any suggestions, I'd like to see what you guys want to see in the future, whether it's more hidden bases or whatever it might be. I do lots of stuff on the channel. And, of course, if you would like to keep up to date, I'd highly consider subscribing, of course, and clicking the little bell next to the subscription button. That would also help me and the channel out a lot, and it'd help you guys out by keeping you up to date with all of the content. And that's pretty much everything, my friends. I'm so glad that you've watched this video. I'm so thankful that you guys have enjoyed it and left some support on it. I really do appreciate every single one of you so much. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!